Listen carefully. There are moments in life when God decides to reveal His glory through your story. And wealth becomes the stage upon which His power is displayed. Some people think wealth is about luxury, comfort, or pride. No, my friend. When God gives wealth, it is not trophy, it is a testimony. It is not for self-glorification, it is for divine demonstration. God will use wealth to announce your name to the nation, to draw attention not to your success, but to His sovereignty. When you walk faithfully, when you obey without compromise, when you keep your heart pure, even in the fire of lack, God begins preparing a table for you before the world. And when the time comes, that table will not be hidden in the dark. It will be set in front of those who once ignored you, those who once mocked you, those who once said you would never make it. God is about to use wealth to introduce you to the world. There are people right now going through silent seasons. You have prayed, you have waited, and nothing seemed to move. You wonder why the doors of prosperity are locked, why every opportunity seems delayed. Let me tell you, God has not forgotten you. The delay is divine. The silence is strategic. God hides His chosen ones before He reveals them, and He tests their hearts before He blesses their hands. If He gave you wealth before He matured your spirit, that wealth would destroy you. But when He knows your heart is stable, your motives are purified, and your humility is deep, He will lift you in such a way that no man can pull you down. Wealth in the hands of a godly person is a weapon. It is not the end, it is the means. It is not the purpose, it is the platform. When God gives you wealth, He gives you influence. When He gives you influence, He gives you access. And when He gives you access, He gives you the opportunity to shape lives, to transform nations, to advance His divine plan upon the earth. God will use wealth not merely to satisfy your desires, but to magnify His glory through your destiny. The world will see your success and wonder how it happened. They will ask, "What did you do?" And you will say, "It was God who lifted me. It was God who opened the door. It was God who made a way." Many people misunderstand wealth. They think it is evil to desire it, but it is not. What makes wealth dangerous is when you pursue it without God. But when wealth is the result of divine direction, when it comes as a reward for obedience, it carries no sorrow with it. It becomes a vessel of peace, not a burden of pride. God wants His children to prosper, not for vanity, but for visibility. How can the world believe in the power of God if His people walk in constant defeat? How can you speak of the abundance of heaven while living in scarcity on earth? No, my friend, God desires to make your life an example. He wants to raise you so high that people will know that it was not your skill, not your background, not your connections, but the hand of God that established you. When God uses wealth to introduce you to the world, it will not come gradually, it will come suddenly. You will move from obscurity to influence in a divine moment. That business that seemed insignificant will explode with blessings. That idea you almost gave up on will attract the attention of kings. That effort that everyone mocked will become the very thing that shifts your destiny. God is strategic. He's not random. Every hardship, every loss, every disappointment was preparing you to carry the weight of the blessing that is coming. The world honors results, but God honors faithfulness. You see, before He blesses your hands, He blesses your heart. Before He releases the wealth, He trains your character. Because if your spirit cannot handle the weight of wealth, it will break you. That is why some people receive money and lose their peace, but when God gives it, He gives it with wisdom, balance, and purpose. The wealth that comes from God never becomes an idol. It becomes an instrument. There is a difference between human wealth and divine wealth. Human wealth is noisy, proud, and temporary. Divine wealth is silent, stable, and eternal in impact. Human wealth builds ego. Divine wealth builds legacy. Human wealth fades when systems change, but divine wealth grows through every season because it is backed by the authority of heaven. When God gives wealth, it will multiply in your hands. Even when others fail, your storehouse will remain full because your source is not the economy, it is God. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. The seed you plant today will become the harvest that feeds nations tomorrow. God sees every hidden effort, every late night, every tear, every sacrifice. You may think no one is watching, but God is taking record. He will not forget your labor. One day, He will command the wealth to locate you, not because you chased it, but because you are faithful in little. The wealth of the wicked will find its way into the hands of the righteous. And when it does, the world will see that God has the final say in who rises and who falls. The world is about to meet a new kind of wealthy person, the one whose wealth is not contaminated by pride, whose riches are not chained to greed, whose abundance does not make them arrogant. God is raising people who will carry wealth with humility, power with compassion, and authority with love. These are people who will not bow to money. Money will bow to them. Because when you are truly surrendered to God, wealth becomes your servant, not your master. When God uses wealth to introduce you to the world, your story will not make sense. People will ask how it happened so fast. They will try to trace your connections and find nothing. They will search your background and find no explanation. They will try to discredit you, but they will not succeed. Because no one can stop what God has ordained. You will become a living testimony of divine favor, a sign that God still lifts the humble and still crowns the faithful. Some of you have been hidden for too long. You have been faithful in private, consistent in prayer, generous even in lack. And God says, your time has come. He is about to bring you into visibility. He will use wealth as the language through which your purpose is announced. You will not need to introduce yourself. Your impact will introduce you. You will not need to beg for attention. Your fruit will speak for you. God is going to cause people in positions of power to notice you, to remember you, to favor you, not because of your resume, but because of His purpose. When God elevates you, do not be afraid of the attention. You are not rising for yourself. You are rising for His glory. You are a vessel of demonstration. The light of your success will not point to you. It will point to God. Every contract, every promotion, every open door is part of His strategy to magnify His greatness through your life. When people see your life, they should see the reflection of divine order, divine favor, and divine excellence. Wealth is not only about possession, it is about representation. You represent God when you handle wealth with discipline, wisdom, and compassion. Do not allow the fear of wealth to make you small. Some people think humility means poverty, but that is a lie. True humility is not in lack, it is in surrender. You can be wealthy and humble when you know that everything you have belongs to God. You can be powerful and peaceful when your heart is anchored in purpose. Wealth without purpose corrupts, but wealth under divine instruction transforms the world. When God gives you wealth, He gives you responsibility. He trusts you with influence so that through you, others can be blessed. You will feed the hungry, build the broken, empower the weak, and restore dignity to those who have been forgotten. This is why God wants you wealthy, not for vanity, but for impact. You are not called to survive. You are called to transform. You are not called to beg. You are called to build. You are not called to blend in. You are called to stand out. And the world will see. The world will hear. The world will know that there is a God who raises men from the dust and set them among princes. There is a God who can take a nobody and make them a symbol of prosperity. There is a God who blesses beyond calculation and increases beyond imagination. You may not have connections, but you have God. You may not have investors, but you have vision. You may not have recognition, but you have a destiny. And destiny, backed by divine favor, is more powerful than any earthly privilege. When the time comes, God will align people, events, and opportunities to showcase what He has placed within you. You will not have to chase doors. They will open on their own. You will not have to fight for your place. It will be prepared for you. When God decides to introduce you through wealth, the same people who once pitied you will come to learn from you. Those who laughed at your struggles will admire your results. Those who ignored your voice will now seek your counsel. It will not be by manipulation, it will be by manifestation. God Himself will validate you before the world. And He will not just bless you, He will establish you. There is a difference. A blessing can come and go, but establishment is permanent. God will not give you a temporary increase. He will give you enduring prosperity. You will not just have money, you will have a meaning. You will not just have possessions, you will have peace. When wealth comes from God, it comes with wisdom to multiply it. You will not be a receiver, you will be a distributor. You will not hoard, you will release. You will not depend, you will dominate, because divine wealth is generational. It is designed to outlive you. It is not about what you own. It is about what you birth through obedience. When God chooses to use wealth to introduce you to the world, He is not just rewarding your labor, He is rewarding your faith. Many people work hard, yet they never rise. Many labor day and night, yet they never taste abundance. Why? Because wealth that is divine is not born from human effort alone. It is born from divine alignment. You can toil all your life and never see increase if God is not in your foundation. But when God becomes the architect of your destiny, every seed you plant is watered by His hand. Every plan you make is multiplied by His power. What others achieve through struggle, you will achieve through favor. What others fight for will begin to chase you. Because when God endorses your name, the world cannot ignore it. There is a level of blessing that cannot be explained by logic. It can only be recognized as the work of God. This is the level where your story shifts from effort to evidence, from labor to legacy. You will wake up one day and realize that everything you have been praying for has found you. It will not be because of your intelligence or connections. It will be because the time appointed by God has arrived. When that moment comes, no power on earth can delay it. The same hands that build the walls against you will be forced to open gates for you. The same mouths that cursed you will be compelled to speak well of you. Because when God wants to introduce you to the world, He does it through undeniable manifestation, through wealth that speaks louder than words. Do not think that wealth is evil. It is neutral. What determines its character is whose hands it rests in. In the hands of the selfish, wealth corrupts. In the hands of the righteous, wealth heals. God desires to raise a generation of wealth carriers whose hearts are anchored in purpose, not greed. He is looking for men and women who understand that money is not a master, but a messenger. Money is not to be worshipped. It is to be used. Used to lift the poor, to spread truth, to build the futures, to bring dignity where there was despair. When God uses wealth to introduce you, He does it so that others can see what it means to prosper without losing one's soul. You may not see it yet, but your struggle is a seed. Every night you spend wondering when it would be your turn. Every moment you gave your best and received nothing in return. None of it was wasted. God was watching, shaping, and preparing you. He was teaching you to handle lack so that when abundance comes, it will not control you. He was allowing you to taste emptiness so that you would never despise the power of contentment. God trains His chosen ones in the classroom of scarcity before trusting them with the throne of prosperity. You are not behind. You are in training. And when the training ends, promotion will come suddenly, publicly, undeniably. When God decides to use wealth as your introduction, it will silence every accusation. Those who said you were cursed will see you crowned. Those who doubted your worth will witness your wisdom. Those who abandoned you in your season of smallness will regret their blindness. God does not vindicate with words. He vindicates with the results. He will make your life so radiant that people will have no choice but to admit, surely this is the work of God. But hear this carefully. Wealth without purpose is like fire without control. It burns what it was meant to warm. That is why God does not give wealth to everyone. He gives it to those who understand its purpose. The reason He delayed your prosperity is because He was perfecting your purpose. He wanted to ensure that when you rise, you will not forget the poor. That when you succeed, you will not become proud. That when you have abundance, you will still walk in humility. Wealth in the hands of a pure heart becomes a weapon against the suffering. It becomes an answer to the prayers of the needy. God blesses you so that through you, others can taste His kindness. Never apologize for wanting to prosper because your prosperity is not selfish when it is God-driven. It is the manifestation of His covenant, the evidence of His favor. You cannot shine for God and remain in the shadows. You cannot represent the Almighty and live in perpetual limitation. There comes a time when God must honor your faithfulness with manifestation. He must clothe you with glory so that His greatness can be seen through you. The same God who gave wisdom to kings and wealth to prophets is the same God who wants to use you as a vessel of influence in this generation. The problem is not that people desire wealth. The problem is that they pursue it without divine direction. They run after success while ignoring the voice of the one who created. But true wealth begins where surrender begins. When you surrender your ambition to God, He purifies it. When you surrender your plans, He multiplies them. The more you yield, the more He releases. Because God cannot trust you with wealth if you still think it belongs to you. He will only pour abundance into hands that are open, not clenched in fear or greed. Let this truth sink deep into your heart. God does not give you wealth to make you famous. He gives you wealth to make Him known. When people see how far you've come, how much you've achieved, how deeply you've been blessed, they will see that it was not possible without divine favor. And that awareness will turn their hearts toward God. You become the living proof that obedience brings prosperity. that humility attracts honor, that patience is rewarded. You are not just being blessed, you are being displayed. You are a walking revelation of divine power at work. There will come a moment when your name will travel where your feet have never been. God will make people speak of you in rooms you have never entered. Your work, your vision, your purpose will draw attention from places you never dreamed of. This is how God introduces His chosen one, through influence backed by integrity, through prosperity guarded by purity. You do not need to manipulate. Your manifestation will be enough. When God elevates you, be careful to remember where you came from. Pride is the enemy of permanence. The moment you begin to think it was your doing, the blessing begins to leak. Wealth remains secure only in the hands of the humble. Gratitude is the shield that preserves prosperity. Every time you acknowledge that it was God who lifted you, He gives you more. But the moment you take credit, the flow slows down. Because divine wealth is never given for self-exaltation. It is given for divine glorification. Some of you listening to this right now are being prepared for extraordinary abundance. You may not look wealthy, but wealth is already chasing you. You may not have the resources yet, but heaven has already approved your increase. God is aligning situation, opening unseen doors, connecting you with the right people, and removing those who would waste your time. The reason some relationships ended suddenly was not rejection, it was protection. God could not allow wrong hearts to follow you into your next season. The next level requires separation. He will not share His glory with those who would corrupt your purpose. When your time comes, your story will sound impossible. People will say, "We knew this person when they had nothing. How did they rise so high?" They will not understand that when God decides to announce a person, He does it in ways that defy logic. He can make one deal change your entire life. He can make one encounter rewrite your destiny. He can cause one idea to generate generations of wealth. Do not limit God to your experience. His plans for you exceed your imagination. Wealth is not the destination, it is the vehicle. It is what God uses to transport His message of glory through your life, through your success. Others will believe that surrender works. Through your prosperity, others will understand that obedience is not in vain. Through your story, the world will see that no one remains small when their trust is in God. You must stop disqualifying yourself. Stop saying, "People like me don't get rich. I come from nothing." Do you not realize that God delights in raising those who come from nothing? He specializes in turning nobodies into symbols of His greatness. He chooses those the world overlooks so that when He blesses them, no one can claim it was human influence. That is why you were overlooked. It was part of His plan. When your time of visibility comes, everyone will know that your rise was not by the help of men, but by the power of God. If you are still walking through the valley of preparation, do not faint. The waiting season is not punishment, it is positioning. Every delay has a divine reason. The longer God hides you, the greater your revelation will be. When you finally emerge, your wealth will not just be material, it will be spiritual, mental, and emotional. You will carry peace that money cannot buy, wisdom that experience cannot teach, and influence that cannot be earned through manipulation. There is a time when the favor of God becomes visible, when His hidden hand that has been working in silence begins to produce evidence in the open. That is the moment when wealth becomes the tool of revelation. God will use it not just to sustain you, but to announce you. He will take the very thing that the world chases with greed and transform it into the very thing that reveals His greatness through your life. When God blesses you, He does it in such a way that no one can doubt His involvement. The doors open without your knocking. The right people appear without your searching, and opportunities find you without your striving. This is how divine wealth works. It locates you. It recognizes obedience. It honors faith. And it flows toward those whose hearts are anchored in God. Many do not understand that before God releases wealth, He measures character. He looks into the heart, not the hunger. Some are hungry for wealth, but their motives are impure. They want the riches to display power, not to distribute purpose. But God is not moved by greed. He is moved by stewardship. He is not impressed by ambition. He is drawn to alignment. That is why you must not envy those who seem to prosper through deceit. Their success is short-lived because it was not born from the hand of God. But when God lifts the person, their rise is permanent. Their name becomes established. Their influence endures, and their prosperity becomes a testimony that cannot be erased. Do not misunderstand what is happening around you. The struggle you face now is not rejection, it is refinement. God is refining your motives, shaping your patience, and teaching you to remain faithful even when you have nothing to show. Because when wealth comes, it will come in such a way that you will not lose yourself within it. Many people are destroyed not by poverty but by prosperity because they receive before they are ready. But you are being prepared for wealth that will not endanger your soul. You are being built to handle abundance with the discipline, power with the humility, and success with the gratitude. When the time comes, you will not have to announce yourself. God Himself will be your announcer. The same way He raised prophets from dust, kings from shepherd fields, and rulers from obscurity, He will raise you. He will use wealth to reveal you. It will not be for personal display, but for divine distinction. You will not just have enough for yourself, you will have overflow. That overflow is the language of divine abundance. It says to the world, this person walks with God. The day will come when those who ignored your effort will marvel at your establishment. Those who dismissed your faith will envy your result. But you will not boast in yourself. You will boast in God. You will say, it was not my hand that did this. It was God who opened the door. God who gave the strength. God who blessed the work of my hands. Because wealth given by God humbles you. It does not inflate you. It reminds you that you are only a custodian, not the creator. There are people God is preparing to be signs of His generosity. He will use their success to remind the world that the righteousness still pays. He will use their businesses, their projects, their influence to prove that integrity and prosperity can walk together. The time is coming when God will shift the wealth of the wicked into the hands of the righteous, not to create pride, but to restore balance. The earth is the Lord's and all within it. He distributes wealth not according to greed, but according to purpose. When your purpose aligns with His plan, wealth becomes inevitable. You may be wondering, why does God need to use wealth to introduce me? Why can't He do it another way? Because the world listens to results. The world honors evidence. There are hearts that will never be open to the truth until they see what God can do with a life surrendered to Him. When they see how you prospered in purity, how you succeeded with integrity, how you grew without compromise. They will be drawn to seek the same God who empowered you. Your prosperity becomes a sermon without words. It becomes a revelation that obedience is not in vain. There are also spiritual dimensions to wealth that few understand. When God releases abundance, it is not just to change your lifestyle, it is to change your level of influence. Wealth gives you a voice. It positions you in places where decisions are made. It allows you to shape culture and direct the flow of good. Without influence, righteousness remains hidden. But with influence, righteousness can transform nations. This is why God is preparing people who will carry wealth with holiness, influence with humility, and authority with love. He is looking for those who will not be corrupted by success, but will sanctify it. Do not be afraid of success. Do not shrink from prosperity. Do not pretend that you do not desire to rise. Desire is not evil when it is submitted to God. It becomes holy when it is surrendered. Wealth in the hands of a pure heart is a weapon of light. It exposes darkness. It feeds the hungry. It builds dreams. It heals the broken. God wants to give you more, not for self-gratification, but for divine multiplication. The more you have, the more you can give. The more you control, the more you can influence. The more you rise, the more you can pull others up. When God releases wealth, He does not give it to lazy hands or fearful heart. He gives it to those who move in faith. Faith attracts favor. Faith unlocks supernatural provision. Faith makes the invisible visible. When you act in faith, when you invest, when you build, when you sow, God meets your action with multiplication. There are miracles of provision that only manifest through motion. If you wait for everything to be perfect before you move, you will never see divine supply. But when you take steps in faith, God adds His strength to your effort and His increase to your work. There are times when God hides your value until the right moment. He allows people to underestimate you so that when He finally reveals you, they will know it was Him. He lets you struggle in silence, not to break you, but to keep you from pride. Then, suddenly, when the appointed time arrives, He breathes on your work and everything multiplies. That is what divine timing looks like. It turns decades of preparation into days of transformation. The same business that struggled for years can become the most influential in a moment. The same voice that was ignored can suddenly become the most sought after. When God moves, He does not need time. He needs readiness. There will be a season when the very thing that caused you pain will become your platform. The area where you once lacked will become the area where you overflow. The same ground that once rejected your seed will yield a harvest so great that even you will be in awe. You will realize that God was not ignoring your prayers. He was multiplying your potential. He was storing your blessings until your foundation was strong enough to hold them. When wealth finally arrives, it will not come in small doses. It will come in waves because God rewards obedience with overflow. You must guard your heart in the season of blessing as fiercely as you guarded it in the season of lack. Prosperity can distract the unprepared, but when your heart remains centered on God, wealth will only amplify your worship. The higher you go, the deeper your gratitude must grow. Because gratitude keeps the flow alive. Every time you acknowledge the source, the stream continues. Every time you give thanks, the heavens open wider. Gratitude is not just a manners, it is a magnet for more. Understand this truth. God will not only make you wealthy, He will make you wise. Because wealth without wisdom leads to waste. The wisdom that comes from God teaches you how to preserve, how to invest, how to grow what you receive. It teaches you how to use money as a servant, not a ruler. You will not spend to impress. You will spend to impact. You will not build to boast. You will build to bless. God will give you the kind of wisdom that turns little into abundance, the kind that transforms ordinary ideas into empires. Do not measure your progress by others. Some people are running ahead, but they are running without roots. You, on the other hand, are being planted deeply. And when the tree of your destiny begins to grow, it will not wither. Your fruit will remain. Your influence will endure. You are not just building for a season, you are building for generations. God's purpose is not temporary. He blesses to establish a lineage, to shape history, to create legacy. And when the world sees you rise, they will see something different about you. Your wealth will carry peace. Your success will carry purity. Your abundance will carry compassion. Because when God is your foundation, everything you build stands tall and stands clean. You will become a light, silent but powerful, calm but commanding. People will be drawn to you, not just for what you have, but for the presence that surrounds you. That presence is not the weight of money. It is the fragrance of God's favor.